So the two animals that we are working with today, Mpilo and Makhosi, both have very different stories and came to the orphanage for very different reasons. So Makhosi's story is she was born in a severe drought. Either she was premature or she didn't develop fully, and she was so little that she couldn't reach her mother's teats. And after some careful monitoring, she was relocated at 2 days old when it was established that she would never be able to drink enough to grow and develop properly. And Mpilo was a different story, a much sadder story. He's an orphan. His mother was brutally murdered and she was killed for her horns. And Mpilo was actually found lying next to his mother's body. These animals come in and they're severely compromised. It's a security thing, a protection and a nutritional requirement that they come to our facility until they're healthy and confident enough to go back into the wild.
So typically what we would do is we would dart a rhino with a dart with an immobilizing drug in it. It would go to sleep after 5 or 6 minutes. And then there's normally a couple of things we need to do. You might need to put some sort of identification markers on the rhino, be it ear notches. Quite often we choose to dehorn the rhinos just to limit the risk of poaching. And then we partially reverse the rhino, and it's an amazing process to see. So we give them probably about half of the dose of the reversal drug. We stimulate the rhino to get up. It gets up. And we literally lead this rhino like you would a horse. We put a rope around its head, blindfold around its eyes so it can't see, and you get it to walk, and a handful of people can walk that rhino towards a steel transport crate. The negative to moving rhinos and immobilizing them is they're incredibly sensitive to the opioid drug that we use. So they go into respiratory depression quite quickly. So we need to be mindful of this when we move them. We always have our heart in our throats before we do an immobilization, and although we've done it many times, we're always nervous before we move a rhino. So on the one hand, they might seem easier to move than other species, but on the other hand, they're far more challenging. But it's an amazing process just to be in the presence of this massive beast, feel its skin, its thick skin, smell it, and then get it to walk into a crate. It's humbling. It's an absolutely amazing experience. And in doing so, you know that you are making a difference to that animal's life. It's incredible. So it might seem insignificant in this case that we're moving 2 rhinos from an orphanage to a park. Say, oh, so what? It's 2 rhinos. But it's seriously significant. Rhinos are endangered. There's not a lot of them. And who knows, 10 years from now, these 2 rhinos can be 20 rhinos. So it's every single move is significant. And that's why we never take it for granted. When we move, every life is important. Everyone gets the same care. Once they're in the crate, we then totally reverse the drug so that they're totally awake. Take off the blindfold, the ropes, close the crate, up on the truck, and they're away.
It's mixed emotions. You're so proud that they've got to that point, and it's heartbreaking to see them go. But you want them to distance themselves from people, and you feel it, and you know that they're ready. They just stop sort of asking for your attention. They stop coming up for loves and things, and they spend more and more time on their own doing rhino things, which is fantastic because ideally this is what we want. You just have to trust them at the end of the day. You can't baby them forever, which is hard because it's what you do. But it's amazing that this is, we've come full circle, and these babies get a chance to return to where they came from. Like Mpilo is going back to where he came from. How amazing is that, that he can now go and contribute to the existing population. That's what he was meant to do.
So the motto of Somkhanda is to share life with nature. And with the reintroduction of Mpilo and Makhosi, I believe that the reserve is going to be able to continue to tell the story of how they have continued to share life with nature.
Mpilo actually came out first, and he came around and sort of touched her on the bum, and then she relaxed, just knowing that he was there, which is fantastic. It's exactly why we release them in pairs. So yeah, just chuffed with the way it's gone, and they're just checking out their new environment and getting a feel for it, but I'm sure they're going to be very happy. Yeah.
I think in every conservationist's career you get these very high points, and today's definitely one of those high points. And I think I'm not the only one that feels that way, but I think many of these guys have had some really, really low points as well. So what this means for many people is a lot more than just a rhino release. It means hope and salvation for the species. So we're very, very happy with where we are. I also want to thank Wildlands and really Kloppers for what they've done. They're a fantastic management organisation, and we're very privileged and proud to be partnered with them on this project and a few other projects forthcoming. And I just want to congratulate the Gumbi community and the WILDTRUST for the role that they're playing in securing the lives of these animals as the community. We want to congratulate them. They're a shining light in terms of community conservation projects, and we're also very proud to be partnered with them. And just to Kester Bikku and the Conservation Solutions team, it's always a privilege working with all of them. Yeah, it's just been a crackerjack team today, huge effort, and obviously to the Zululand Conservation Trust for securing the lives of these rhinos for the last couple of years and bringing them here. You know, the transport is quite the enjoyable part right at the end of the story, but it takes a lot to get these rhinos here. And now the real work starts in protecting these animals. We can't be complacent in this. It's not, we don't have time to sit back. And obviously Mary and the team have got full faith in them. We've discussed the security around the operation, we've discussed the security around the boma, we've discussed the security around the reserve.
The Rhino Orphans has been a really interesting project for us as well. The fact that the word orphan's been attached to it automatically increased the emotions. It's been a lovely story to see. We're very proud to be able to partner some other sponsors in this as well, and knowing that they're out of risk from some of the terrible injuries and afflictions that poachers put upon them is a great feeling, not just for us, but I know the guys on the ground are particularly proud and passionate about the work they do. So yeah, it's been an amazing thing.
They absolutely beautifully followed Nokwanda because Nokwanda's mom, and they felt comfortable with her, and she called them out past the gate, which is always a challenge because they're nervous of gates and rails and new smells. But Nokwanda was there, and they just knew that this is mom, this is safe, this is okay, this is cool, and off they went. Hey, happy?
Happy, I'm so happy.
Oh, well done. Good job.